Once, in a misty coastal village hugged by jagged cliffs, there lived a boy named Elias, who carried anger like a storm cloud over his heart. His mother had died when he was 8, leaving him with a father too drowned in grief to notice the sparks igniting in his son's chest. Elias's anger wasn't loud like thunder. It was a slow, smoldering fire, creeping through his days. It flared when fishermen mocked his small boat, when merchants shortchanged him for clams, or when his father stumbled home, reeking of gin, ignoring Elias's attempts to fix the leaky roof. One autumn evening, the village prepared for the Tide Festival, a night of lanterns floating on the sea to honor lost sailors. Elias, 16 and wiry, was tasked with gathering driftwood for the bonfire. His resentment simmered as he hauled logs alone, while others laughed and danced. At the shore, he found a polished seashell, its iridescent curves catching the fading light. For a moment, the fire in him quieted, but then a burly fisherman, Tom, kicked Elias's pile of wood into the surf. "Lazy lad," Tom sneered. "You'll ruin the festival." Elias's vision burned red. He grabbed a splintered plank, ready to swing, when an old woman appeared, barefoot, her silver hair braided with seaweed. She called herself Mara, the village's forgotten herbalist. Her eyes, pale as sea foam, pinned Elias. "Anger's a thief," she said softly. "Steals your peace, leaves you empty. Keep that plank, boy, and you'll lose more than wood." Her voice wasn't scolding. It was a lullaby, tugging at something tender in him. He dropped the plank, trembling, the anger a hot coal in his throat. Mara didn't vanish. She followed him to the festival, her bare feet silent on the sand. The village glowed, lanterns bobbed like fireflies, and fiddles sang under starlight. Elias sat apart, sulking, until Mara pressed the seashell into his hand. "Give it to someone," she said. "Not to hurt, but to mend." He scoffed, but her gaze held him. Across the fire, he saw Lila, the baker's daughter, struggling to light her family's lantern. Her hands shook. Her father was among the lost sailors. Elias's anger whispered to shove the shell at her, to mock her grief like others had mocked his. Instead, he knelt, striking flint to light her lantern. The flame caught, and Lila's eyes widened, not with pity, but gratitude. "It's beautiful," she said, noticing the shell in his hand. He hesitated, then placed it in her palm. "For your dad," he mumbled. Her fingers closed around it, and for the first time, Elias felt the coal in his chest cool to embers. Mara watched from the shadows, her lips curving faintly. Later, Elias found her by the cliffs, grinding herbs in a mortar. "Why'd you help me?" he asked. She stirred her mixture, the scent sharp like pine. "Anger's a tide," she said. "It comes, but you choose if it drowns you. You gave away your hurt tonight. That's power." He frowned, unconvinced, but the weight in his chest felt lighter. The next day, Elias's father, still hungover, snapped at him for forgetting to mend the roof. Elias's fist clenched, but Mara's words echoed. "You choose." Instead of shouting, he climbed the ladder alone, patching leaks with tar. His father watched, silent, then joined him, their hands brushing as they worked. No apology passed, but something shifted, a tide turning. Mara didn't stay long. By winter, she was gone, leaving only a pouch of herbs that smelled of salt and sage. Elias used them to calm his father's shakes, brewing teas by candlelight. His anger didn't vanish. It still sparked when life bruised him. But each time, he'd clutch the memory of Lila's smile, the shell's weight in his palm, and choose, slowly, stubbornly, to give rather than break. Years later, Elias became the village's boat maker, crafting vessels sturdy enough to defy storms. At the Tide Festival, he'd light a lantern for Mara, whose name no one recalled but his. His anger never ruled him again, not because he was perfect, but because he learned its trick. It thrives on holding, dies in giving. The sea still roared, but Elias sailed on, lighter than before.